What's up, everybody? It's Cody here at AJ's Tactical Airsoft, and today we have a classic gun to review. The reason I say classic is because it is going to be the EMG Daniel Defense / Colt licensed Block 2 OEM'd by GMP. I say classic because the Block 2 has been around since 2005. It's been 15 years that this thing has been the workhorse for a lot of special operations commands. We're going to go into why it's not your standard M4, what makes it so special from the licensing to the internals, how it shoots, why it shoots the way it does, and see if y'all want to add it to your collection or not. So stay tuned. We're going to get right into it. Let's go. Alright, so let's start off with what makes this gun so different, even though it does look like your standard M4A1. Aside from the trademarks and the licensing, the accuracy of this particular platform is astounding, right down to the barrel. The real-world counterpart barrel is a thicker barrel than your standard M4 barrel, and that is so that these real guns can put more rounds down without heating up as much and maybe becoming disformed or heating up as much and causing some discomfort to the shooter and just being more reliable. The rail itself looks fantastic. They also have a bronze version. They have a tan/bronze version of this gun, but we went with the black. Just looks very good. The trademarks on it, because Daniel Defense had a hand in it and they gave permission to use the correct, accurate trademarks, it gives it the next level when it comes to looking the part. It's a little more rugged and heavy duty than what we're used to now. You know, all of our reviews so far and most guns that you'll buy out of the box at this point in the airsoft industry are going to be your M-Lock or key mod variants, and this is another reason why I said classic, because this is going back to the quad rail setup, but it does have its advantages. You have tons of rail space. You don't have to worry about buying or installing those small M-Lock or key mod attachments. You have the rail space that you need right off the bat out of the box. The attachment points make it very sturdy. It's a set of 6 screws, 2 at the bottom, 2 in the middle, and 2 at the top, and it clamps to itself. And it also makes sure the barrel is very sturdy. You don't have a wobbly barrel, you don't have a wobbly rail, and the rail is not going to come undone unless you don't tighten them down properly. The next cool thing about this are the receivers. The receivers are licensed by Colt, and they did a fantastic job making it look good. It's the stamped trademarks. The receivers are the CNC'd aluminum alloy, so they're strong, and the detail in it is fantastic. Your standard 20mm Picatinny rail, and that is also what this rail is, the 20mm Picatinny. So, sticking with this theme, the iron sights. This is one of the things that we are actually quite disappointed with. The iron sights are polymer, and they feel like a cheaper polymer. They're not the iron sights that you would expect, the metal ones, but they do the job, and this is just one of the weaker points of the gun. You might want to go out and get a pair of metal ones if you want to make sure that they're not going to break on you, but so far we haven't had any problems with them. One thing before we move farther back on the gun is, because this is a GMP, this is not going to be your standard flash hider. This is going to be a 14mm positive. So you need to pay attention when you're buying accessories for the end of the barrel, whether it be another flash hider to change out the federally mandated orange that comes with it, a suppressor or a tracer, you need to make sure that you're getting the right thread for this gun. So going further back, you have a little bit different of a pistol grip. It's a little bit more at an angle, but it does feel comfortable. If you like what you're usually using, with the A2 style or some of the PTS stuff that's more vertical, you might want to change that out, but it does feel very comfortable on this gun. So the stock. The stock is a crane stock. It's your standard Sopmod crane stock. Feels good. The tolerances on it are great. Slides nice and easy, but it does lock in place. You don't have to worry about it collapsing on itself like some cheaper stocks do. The only downside to this stock that I can say is the fact that the butt pad, when you take it off, you do not have access to your battery. So you are forced to take the stock off. But that's fairly simple. You just slide it all the way back, pull this down, and it comes right off. Then you have access to your Dean's connector. That's another very important thing to note, is that it is not your standard Tamiya. That's something that GMP has been doing for the longest time, and the industry needs to catch up, because we're always wanting to swap our guns to Dean's, and this one's already Dean's, so that's one less thing you have to do when you get the gun. As for battery storage, this guy right here, it's the HPA 7.4 2000 milliamp battery. It fits perfectly in this gun. And you can also fit bigger batteries. Depending on where you like your stock adjustment to be, if it's all the way out, you can fit a bigger battery. If you want it farther in, you'd want to go with something like this. But this, with the wires, it fits great, and you can get it to about the third position comfortably, which is about right there. So that's one thing I would suggest doing, is changing the wire length on the gun itself. Keep the connector, but just change it so you don't have as much wires in there, and you can get it in closer if need be. So one neat thing about the gun, while we're talking externals, is that it comes with a very decent feeling, sturdy PMag style mag. It's a mid-cap, so if you are a mid-cap fan, this is going to be perfect for you. If you're not, then you might want to figure out a way to get some high caps for this thing. But it does come with a good mag. It's not your cheapo high cap that you usually find in the box. And as well as in the box, you get a cleaning rod, an unjamming rod, and you get the certificate of authenticity from Daniel Defense saying, yes, we did give them permission to do the licensing and trademarks on this. And then you also get a card for a particular item that is in this gun that we're going to get to later, that shows you how to work the functions of this item. But we'll, like I said, we'll get into that a little bit later. Alright guys, so now I want to talk about the internals. There is a very particular thing that I am excited to show y'all. But first, we're going to talk about the inner barrel. The inner barrel is 363 millimeters long. So it comes right here to the end of the outer barrel. The hop-up is a full metal hop-up with a radial hop-up. So, bit of a good thing there. Better than your standard dial that you get. Easy adjustment. It's a little bit more reliable. You don't have to worry about adjusting it every time you want to play. They typically stay a little bit better and are more reliable than the classic style hop-ups, but it is a full metal one-piece hop-up. So earlier in the video, like I said, it is a GMP base. The gearbox is. It's an 8mm gearbox. So you have your 8mm bearings in there, which is a bit of an upgrade already. But that is a standard with GMP, and that's why this gun shoots the way it does, is because GMP is known for their performance out of the box. It has a 14 tooth piston on it. The first one or two are removed, and that helps the cycle rate a little bit more, especially on semi. And it also features a set of upgraded gears, just a little bit tougher gears, CNC gears. So you don't have to worry necessarily about those stripping out or anything. You don't have to worry about the piston stripping out. It's GMP has figured out how to make reliable guns right out of the box. You don't really need to do anything internally until you break it. Another addition to the internals is it has a neomagnet motor. It's a high strength motor, so it's not going to be for speed. You're not going to get the rate of fire out of this motor like you would maybe with a high speed. But for what the gun comes with in it, it's going to mesh perfectly with the rest of the internals. The biggest thing that comes with this, and the thing that I'm excited most, is that it has a gate aster in it, and that is a programmable MOSFET. So there are multiple different ways, and like I said on the card, it describes what you can do with it. There are multiple different ways that you can program this MOSFET to do what you want it to do. The biggest feature being binary trigger, which is a fairly new thing on the market compared to other MOSFET functions. So I will show you the binary trigger in a little bit when I do the shooting review. And then it also has your burst options. You can go from a 3-round burst up to, I believe it's 6 or 7 round burst with one pull of the trigger. And that also helps the cycle rate, the fire rate a little bit. It's going to, on semi-auto, it's going to cycle a lot faster than without the MOSFET. Another cool version is this MOSFET helps save your batteries. Batteries can get expensive, especially when you have multiples. And so when you're wanting to save your batteries, you go with the MOSFET. Well, this MOSFET will cut off and save your battery when it starts to die. It will not let the gun cycle if the voltage of the battery is too low. So there is a little bit more insurance built into the gun already out of the box to help you maintain your battery life. So now we're going to get into the shooting and the chronoing. This gun comes advertised shooting 370 to about 400 FPS with 0.2 gram BBs. And I'm going to show you that on the chrono, and I'm also just going to show you some shooting, some semi-auto fire and some full auto fire, and then I'm going to show you the different functions of the MOSFET, the programming ability, and I'm also going to show you some of the binary. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I'm super excited to show you how this thing shoots, and we're going to jump right into it. Alright guys, so now we're going to do the shooting review. See just how this thing fires, how much range. I'm going to try to translate it best I can for y'all. And I already programmed the Aster, and I set it to safe, binary, and full auto. And that's just scratching the surface of what this thing can do. So I'll show you what the binary sounds like, how it shoots and whatnot, and then we'll flip over to full auto and waste some BBs real quick. So for those of you who do not know what binary is, it is one trigger pull, and when you release it fires another BB. So you get 2 BBs for every trigger pull. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Now let's get some full auto in there. Alright guys, so now we're going to chrono, and we're chronoing with 0.2 gram BBs, and they are HPA 0.2s. So that one was 396, 384, 388, 390, 400 on the dot, 399, 391, 390. So now we're going to do a rate of fire test. And remember, like I said earlier in the video, this is a 7.4 2000 milliamp battery. So and it's also a lithium ion, so the fire rate is not going to be the same as if it were a 11.1 LiPo. That's 12.4 a second. So on semi, this gun is a beast. It cycles quick, and this is going to be with a 7.4, which is what is recommended with the gun. It is going to be perfect for any milsim events or any events that restrict you to semi-auto only. If you're playing at any game day, let's say indoor or even outdoor, that allows you to run full auto, you're at least going to want an 11.1 with a higher discharge to get the higher rate of fire that you would normally get. It's just the way this gun is built, and it's meant for one thing more than the other, and that is typically your event or milsim styled games than anything. So we're gonna head inside and alright guys, so that's gonna wrap up this video. As you saw in the shooting and the chrono, it is shooting just right, exactly where we would want it to meet essentially the industry standard 400 with 2s. And like I said, the battery that I had on it, it wasn't going to show off the rate of fire. It's really just what the MOSFET does with the battery to really make the cycle rate of semi shine. And the binary is a cool feature. It's always a head turner. Every time we show somebody a binary trigger in the store, they immediately fall in love with it, and it's a huge selling point. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for this video. Between the aesthetics, the attention to detail that they got down with this gun, down to the performance, you know, for the price that you're paying, it's worth it. That's at least what we have found. You know, this thing comes right over $400, but you get what you pay for, and this is certainly a package that is worth the price point. So if you want more information, please feel free to message us or come into the store. We have just this one in stock. If for anybody who wants one, maybe wants the tan version or something, message us, let us know. And like I always say, if you have any video idea in mind, please comment. Let us know. We do these videos for y'all. If we have a gun in stock, we'll do it. If we don't, we'll do our best to get it. So I hope y'all have a great day. Thank you for watching. We're happy to bring this to you. See you next time.